Yeah, we'd just like to thank the organisers, Vertical Events, their assistants and their helpers, and of course all the sponsors for today's event. Today I'd like to take you through the highlights of the Kalamazoo Story, which really is centred around our gold and lithium projects in Western Australia and our gold projects in Victoria. And that, of course, is the obligatory forward-looking statement slide. You can read that at your leisure. So we really want to start here at home in Western Australia, and more specifically in the Pilbara region, where we have projects prospective both for gold and lithium. Chiefly among these is our Ashburton gold project, a 1.65 million ounce resource located just 40 kilometres south of the township of Paraburdoo, and at the very southern margin, I guess, of that Pilbara province. We acquired the project from Northern Star about a year ago now, and have made significant headway through the drilling of two programs that we've just completed our second program, and you know, we're waiting still, I guess, like many other companies, for the last of the results to come through. So we've made obviously some inroads into expanding the brownfields resources along strike of some of our existing historic deposits, and also some greenfields opportunities too. And there are still many of those more to test. And the Ashburton gold project itself produced about 350,000 ounces between 1998 and 2004 through SEPA Resources. And Northern Star acquired the project in about 2010 and very quickly added about 1 million ounces to resources. And they were really looking at this project as their second development project to augment their Paulson's project, which was lying to the northwest, but still in the Ashburton province. We hope over the next couple of years that we can emulate some of that success and push that 1.65 million ounces towards 2 million ounces and beyond. More recently, Kalamazoo has recognised the lithium potential on some of its 100% owned East Pilbara projects, and we've already embarked on an extensive geochemical program to develop lithium targets in and around the Marble Bar region. In Victoria, Kalamazoo has amassed an excellent portfolio of gold projects in the Bendigo zone, initially with a pegging of both the Castlemaine and South Buckleford goldfields, and subsequent bolt-on acquisitions at strategic locations close to Kirkland Lake's Fosterville gold operations. And just look at a quick snapshot of where we are today. We've approximately 142 million shares on issue after yesterday's conversion of 25-cent options by directors and employees. That added a further $2 million to our treasury. So that now stands at circa $6 million plus some liquid assets in the form of Novo shares that we acquired as a result of a recent transaction. We've got a small board. We have 2 exploration managers, each looking after exploration in their respective states of WA and Victoria. Share registry has been pretty stable over the last few years, with the top 5 shareholders accounting for about 50% of the issued capital. Strategic investments in Kalamazoo came last year from a private placement of $8 million to Novo Resources and Eric Sprott, who approximately hold 7.5% each, after our initial program in Victoria that discovered some high-grade mineralisation that Quentin Henai viewed as being perhaps analogous to some of the mineralisation that they're seeing at Fosterville. And Novo and Eric have been very supportive shareholders over that time, and we're very fortunate to have them on our register. So turning our attention to more project-specific information, in WA, our project portfolio dominated, as I said, by the Ashburton Gold Project, 1.65 million ounces grading 2.5 grams per tonne. I think the project sets reasonably well with some of the peer projects in the Pilbara in gold, and that of course includes Calidus and Capricorn and Novo themselves. Elsewhere in the Pilbara project, our sisters project lies southwest of De Grey's Hemi discovery, and within the same structural corridor. So it sits right above that Waugh shear zone. has several well-defined gold and pathfinder element anomalies, and we hope to be in a position to drill that in the first half of next year. And lastly, in the East Pilbara, close to Marble Bar, lie our Doms Hill and Marble Bar projects. Whilst very prospective for gold, they're also recognised as being prospective for lithium, and I'll say something a bit later about that in the presentation. But turning back to the Ashburton, we believe there's significant scope for expansion of the current resource base, and our aim is to achieve that 2 million ounces over the next 1 or 2 years. Second drill campaign was only completed in September, and we were looking, I suppose, primarily for strike extensions of existing brownfields deposits, but also our first forays into some of these greenfield project areas within close proximity of these historical pits, which were actually mined for their oxide resource. So there are a number of targets we've not yet visited, let alone drilled. And as we spend more time on the ground, new targets continue to be discovered. As a result, we believe the project has much further potential, and we're initiating a large geophysical survey, which hopefully will be completed in the first half of next year to provide an additional layer of information that we don't currently have. In order to progress the sulfide portion of the resource, we've embarked on an extended metallurgical test work program that will hopefully be reaching its conclusion in the end of the first quarter next year. And that has been happening alongside several research-focused activities to develop a deeper understanding of the potential of the sulfide resource to generate significant value. The slide that you can see here presents the tenements of the Ashburton project, 7 tenements in all, 3 mining licenses and 4 exploration licenses. The geology, location of the major prospects there, and the existing resource base in each. But also it shows the sparseness of the drilling away from the main centres of past production. So we've got quite a lot of work to do to get to some of these prospects that are a little bit distal to the existing centres. So most of Kalamazoo's attention in the last 12 months has been concentrated in that sort of 3 to 4 kilometres from these existing centres. And obviously we intend to widen that search as we look forward to our 2022 programs. Early success was certainly seen in our first program, and that was centred around the Waugh deposit. Some extensional down dip and down plunge drilling intersected some really nice widths and nice grades of gold, pretty typical of the Waugh style of mineralisation in these quartz ironstone units. We've now extended mineralisation in that area over a strike length of about 2.5 kilometres along what we've now termed the Waugh zone, for want of a better term. But perhaps more exciting in this location is the recognition of further anomalism in this characteristic siltstone unit that plays host to this type of mineralisation. And we've got 20 kilometres of strike of that going all the way around the margins of the Diligence Dome. Now, many of those anomalies are yet to be drilled or have only had very sparse drilling in them. So that's going to be an additional focus for us next year also. We had a program, as I say, recently completed. We discovered further shallow gold mineralisation at Waugh West and early indications at Annie Oakley, where we found some gold mineralisation in shallow dipping conglomerates, some of which, again, at very, very nice grades. And I think this highlights the potential of further discovery in this region. The shallow dipping conglomerates are pretty characteristic of the main mineralised zone at Mount Olympus, and we've got 1 million ounces there already. So we think that there's pretty good prospectivity in this particular area. Turning very quickly now to our lithium projects, they're at a rather formative stage. And look, you know, there are plenty of other companies that have already talked about the lithium thematic, the battery thematic, so I won't really say much about that now. You're pretty much fully aware of that. In terms of the projects, East Pilbara, Kalamazoo, we've got 2 main project areas, Doms Hill to the northwest of Marble Bar, and our Marble Bar tenement package itself immediately to the east of town. Both projects are 100% owned by Kalamazoo, And Global Lithium actually hold some of the ground to our immediate north, and they've of course got their 10.5 million tonne Archer deposit immediately north of our tenement package. Both these packages are also prospective for gold, and we've already completed a 4,600 soil sample program at Doms Hill. The results of that program are currently being finalised and evaluated, and we hope to say something more about that in the coming weeks. Similarly, a 3,800 sample soil program is now underway at Marble Bar, and we hope to have results from that program sometime in January or February. This slide really shows the magnetics and locations of the regions, the major lithium deposits, and note the similarity in the geology and the structure at Doms Hill and that of Pilbara to our southwest. I'm not saying that we've got a Pilbara, but nevertheless, there's potential at Doms Hill to host a significant deposit there. And note the white outlines that denote the Goldilocks zone, that region that sits adjacent to the granitoids, where, obviously the source of the lithium seasoned tantalum fluids that form these economic pegmatites. So Kalamazoo intends to drill an initial 5,000 metres across several interesting targets during the first half of 2022, both at Doms Hill and Marble Bar. And quickly, our sisters project, we've identified several targets there which we need to test next year. That again is a long strike from the De Grey deposits. The Waugh shear goes straight the way through the tenement package there, and the Wattle Plains anomaly to the northeast within that tenement is probably the most serious anomaly that we have there at the moment. Just turning very quickly to Victoria. We focused our acquisition strategy in the Bendigo zone and specifically south of the line that sort of denotes the Murray Basin sedimentary cover that occupies much of the northern part of Victoria. Our Castlemaine and South Muckerford gold projects lie reasonably close to Fosterville, and we've chosen that structural setting with the mineralisation in that region dominated by these and hosted in the hanging wall of these major north-south striking fault systems. And unbelievably, even though the fields have been known about and exploited for 150 years, our average depth of drilling throughout our projects is only 137 metres. And much of the ELs that we have pegged have hardly had any drilling in them at all. In terms of what we're looking for, we're really looking for 1 million ounces at 10 grams. It's a stretch target, but I think the ground that we have certainly has the potential to host that style of deposit. And we're applying new techniques where we can. Much of this area has not been the subject of modern exploration. So far, we've identified about 10 targets. Whoops, sorry. We've identified about 10 targets in our project areas, and we're working our way through drilling and approvals to provide adequate news flow over the next 12 to 24 months. At Tarnagulla, this is probably the next cab off the rank. It's located to the west of our Muckleford project and to the north of our Muckleford project. It's clearly defined as a linear geochemical anomaly. It's been defined directly to the north and a long strike of the Poverty Reef mine that produced 360,000 ounces at 3 ounces a tonne. And we plan a 2,000 metre drilling program at Tarnagulla to start early in 2022. That's just obviously a peer comparison. We're a little bit too far to the right on that graph for my liking, and I guess it's our team's intention to make us move further to the left through the course of the next year. So really, to sum up, Kalamazoo has got major assets in 2 of the most sought after gold provinces in the world. We're looking to expand our Ashburton project towards 2 million ounces and to demonstrate the value of the sulfide resource whilst we find more oxide. We have an active program already at Doms Hill and Marble Bar lithium tenements, and we're searching for another Fosterville in Victoria. We've got an excellent, tightly held register. We're funded with 6 million in cash, 2 million in Novo shares, and we've got an active program designed for the next 2 years and across the entire portfolio. Thanks very much for your attention. I know that was brief, but if you want more detail, come and visit us at the booth. Thanks.